from Swansea, wrestling fans. I'm your host, Ben Allison, and you are watching Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. I'm back after a couple of day break. I've graduated from uni. I'm graduate Ben now, so my opinions clearly are the most important opinions in the entire wrestling industry. That's how it works. Joining me today to talk a little bit about wrestling, we firstly have Shad. How are you, Shad?
My man got the hat with the tassel. I'm good,
Yep.
bro. Congratulations to you once again. That is quite a accomplishment. For
Thank
those
you.
who graduated university, I did it a little while ago. It's difficult, and enjoy paying off that student loans. But nah, all seriousness, congrats, and yeah, I'm ready for the show. Let's
Uh,
get it.
Absolutely, I'm going to be paying that off for quite some time. But also joining us today, we have David Sheldon. How are you, David?
Oh, I'm not saying anything about student debts. Oh, I've got a year. I've got a year. I've got a year left. Oh, God help us all. Anyway, hello everybody. Congratulations, Ben, on your graduation. The captors
Thank
make you look
you.
a little bit like you should be in a Dr. Shelby segment. But and I remember the graduation where they hug it out. That was what came to my head when I saw it on your head. No, congratulations, mate, for brilliant news and nobody more deserving and talented. Very excited to be here today to chat some professional wrestling, starting with the wonderful potential news that Ben's wonderful graphic in the corner expresses. Let's get at it.
So, funny story, right? We've basically, to graduate from uni, my big project this year was I rebranded WrestleMania if it was going to go to London. And then the day I graduate from uni, it gets announced that Sadiq Khan, the London mayor, the mayor of London, is in talks with Triple H and Nick Khan, confirmed officially. They're talking about potentially bringing WrestleMania to London. Now, the fact that they're posting photos, the fact that they're talking all about this, suggests that, hey, maybe, just maybe, this is going to happen, and I think it could. But let's actually break this down from a political aspect for a second. Sadiq Khan, when he was rerunning for mayor this year, he said that one of the things that he would do is bring WrestleMania to London during his term. Detroit are claiming that WrestleMania 43 is going to be there. We already know Las Vegas have WrestleMania 41, so my question is WrestleMania 42? It looks like it could well be coming to London, doesn't it, David?
Yes, I think it very much does. I think this is wonderful news. I mean, I'm British, so of course I do. If this is true, again, I agree with you, Ben. I don't see, from a business perspective, why they would post those pictures with Sadiq if it wasn't going to come, both from Triple H's perspective, but also from Sadiq's. Because if Sadiq Khan does all that publicity about we're going to bring Mania to London and brings over Nick Khan and brings over Paul Levesque, and then they don't do it, that's not great when he goes for re-election about broken promises and all the rest of it. So it does show a willing, and there's a lot. Mania is something, particularly the first international Mania, since. Have Canada had one since 18? I think this is the first.
No.
No,
Yeah, this would be the first one outside North America.
The first one outside North America, the first one outside the United States since 2002. So, there is a lot of planning that requires that, because Mania is, particularly in recent years, Mania's become more than a wrestling show. There are so many factors to Mania, and I think that it's going to take a long time to iron out those details. So I'm not getting my hopes up just yet, because there is a total possibility this doesn't happen. Where they put it, I think, is interesting, because Mania is usually in April, which is not the greatest time for British weather. So whether you'd want to risk Wembley, like all AEW do by putting it in August, whether you risk rain, they could always put it in places like the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They could put it in Wembley, not in Wembley Stadium, in the Olympic Stadium, Olympic Park. There's a lot of places they could put it. They could put it in the Emirates, because no one will be there anyway.
Boo!
Sorry, I couldn't resist that. And like as I said in the chat, just to balance it out for you, Ben, they could also put it at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, because they could get 5,000 extra seats by taking out the empty trophy cabinets, because they're not using them. So I'm getting all my football digs in. I don't get a chance normally. But yes, so I think this will be great. I'm not counting my chickens before they've hatched. There's a long way to go yet. But I think if this was just a dirt sheet rumor, or if this was just something that was circulating, I'd be a lot more skeptical. But the fact they've officially released pictures with Triple H and Sadiq Khan in London tells me I think this is a very strong possibility.
Absolutely. No, I 100% do agree with you, David. We have a couple of comments here. Firstly, Soul's laughing at student debt. Yeah, unfortunately, that is a thing here. But we've also got a couple of comments over on Instagram. We've got Aditya Sefi saying congratulations on graduating. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, we have Harrison RB1872 saying WrestleMania in London. We need it. I do agree. Soul saying with our new government, he could see them pushing to drive for, this big. I mean, at the end of the day, WrestleMania would bring in a lot of tourism for the UK. But this specifically has got nothing to do with the new Labour government in the UK. It's specifically the London Mayor himself, Sadiq Khan, who's put in this work in. He's using the London budget, it seems, not the UK budget, to try and get this deal done as well. But Soul saying that he do think Saudi will bid much higher and they'll get Mania first. I don't believe it, Soul. I know you said that a few times before. I don't believe that for a second. They've got that new deal Saudi already now where they're going to bring one of the big four there. I don't think it's going to be Mania. That deal's already in place. This deal isn't in place. So I think this makes a lot more sense for it to, happen first. Vic Valdieso is saying, is WrestleMania 42 not meant to be in Indianapolis? So there's been a lot of confusion about this. Indianapolis are going to be having a Royal Rumble, a SummerSlam, and a WrestleMania. But the way it was worded highly suggested that they'll be having both the SummerSlam and Rumble first, which would actually put it on track for it to be WrestleMania 44, not 42. In fact, if they are going to have SummerSlam and Rumble first, it would actually be impossible for it to be 42. So yeah, 44 does seem to be a lot more likely. Soul is in complete and utter denial about WrestleMania coming to the UK. They're not going to be posting it if it's not going to happen. Surely, Shad.
So. I know. This hurts your heart a little bit, buddy. You don't want WWE to have WrestleMania at Wembley because you don't want your buddy Tony Khan and AEW to have their attendance record completely smashed. It's okay, so you're gonna be all right. But all seriousness, jokes aside, I think it's intriguing. I think going international for a pay-per-view like WrestleMania is pretty major, and I think it's something that makes sense for WWE just because they've had so much success in these last few years with international PLEs, and you don't jeopardize obviously doing bad on ticket sales because I think you're gonna sell out just as well, and you may get astronomical numbers, and I think it'd be cool. I think it's something a little different compared to having it in the States. I think the UK crowds have been very very good to the WWE these last few years. They've rallied up in attendance. They've been live and energetic, and it's been a great setting. And they really do love and appreciate pro wrestling. So I do think it's interesting that it would be there, and I think it's a strong possibility. Like you said, I don't like photo ops. Putting it on newsletters, them handing him a little tiny wrestling belt. It makes it seem like it's on the path of getting done sooner than later. And it, from how he explained it, I think it's gonna be something that, obviously I'm an American over here. I can't speak with y'all's, economy and all that, but it seems like it is something that is to help you guys out in regards to bringing something monumental in the WWE, like with the WrestleMania, which would be interesting for them to do. And as an American, I'm not mad at it. I just hope that they run it, at an early time. That'd be kind of cool. Not like the MMA fight this upcoming weekend for the Leon Edwards and the UFC event. Because isn't that supposed to be happening at like nighttime for y'all? Like
It is absolutely ridiculous, Shard. Because yeah, you are right. It's meant to be happening like I think it's like 3 a.m. And in the vast majority of arenas or stadiums in the UK, including Wembley Stadium, it actually would be illegal for it to be happening at that time. But the UFC have chosen an arena where it can happen. They made a deal to make it happen. It means it's absolute hell for anybody to travel back from the event. It is a complete and utter disaster. It is a disgrace. A huge L by Dana White.
Why would anyone want to go at that time?
No idea.
If you try, like, you know, we've done plenty of watch-alongs of wrestling shows at that time in the morning. You're knackered, and you're sat there. Granted, being in a crowd and everything will wake you up. But we're sat, you know, clinging on to my cokes and my coffees to try and get me through really good wrestling shows.
I mean, think about the fighters at that too.
Exactly.
Like,
I know.
You know, it's
super tired.
You just start to think like, this is. I don't watch the UFC. This will not impact me in any way as a viewer, as a fan. It doesn't impact me. But I just think it is disgraceful. It is disgraceful to put a show on, and irresponsible to put a show on at that time. For the fans, for the fighters, for everybody involved, the only person who's benefiting is America. And Saudi and all those other. Oh no, we're not even Saudi. Particularly like those.
Saudi is actually bad for them too.
Yeah, America. It's for America, and so
they're operating it on our time clock. But back to WrestleMania. The idea of it is gonna be one that has us as wrestling fans fantasy booking for whenever if they do announce it, right? Because you just think about all the influx of like great European talent on the WWE, right? Like that could be a monumental moment for like a Drew McIntyre to main event at a Mania, right? You got like a Becky Lynch maybe like in a big time match, or like a lot of people on the international, especially a lot of like British talent as well. And then I mean, you got a lot of coveted free agents that may hit the scene. They might be obligated and want to push to get to WWE, work themselves up and get that opportunity. It's cool to see, because I think you see a lot of people getting that, like with Ospreay, how he noted how big of a moment it was at Wembley and winning a match against Jericho there. I think that would probably be a similar, feeling to a lot of wrestlers, being able to, like, I get to wrestle at WrestleMania in my home country, or like that'd be pretty crazy. So I really hope it does happen for you guys. Who knows, man? Y'all might see me there. I got a passport now. So.
Oh yes, come on, Wrestling Republic. Everybody in Wrestling Republic comes over. WrestleMania London, right? But as graduate Ben, I am calling it right now. I am predicting it right now. WrestleMania 42 will take place in London, England, and not just London, England. There is only one stadium where WWE can beat AEW's attendance record, and that one stadium is Wembley Stadium. Wembley Stadium technically can have a temporary roof. It's not been used in many years, but it would cover where the ring would be, and it would cover all of the floor seats. It wouldn't cover the stands. The fans in the stands would get a little wet, but that could happen, and that's what I believe will happen. I am calling it. I am predicting it right now. WrestleMania 42 in London at Wembley Stadium, and they're going to beat that AEW attendance record, and I cannot wait.
To that point, can we give AEW a little bit of credit for maybe possibly getting this as an idea and them being as rigorous towards getting it done? I know it's in the art of competition maybe and all that, but like Tony being able to have a masterful, successful show with a new company at Wembley, man, you gotta give him his credit, man. Like that guy really is building something so like good, and building a beautiful foundation for new fans of professional wrestling, because they're gonna well surpass what a WCW and the ECW and whatever competition may be. They're here for the long haul, and I absolutely love it. So salute to all the cons out there, especially Tony Khan.
Well, the fact of the matter is that as much as people are going to come out and go, "Oh, WWE would have run this anyway," there might be some truth to that. But the fact is, when you have a competition that's willing to go, right, we're going to hit you in that market that you're not going to. You're not doing Wembley,
That's
so we'll
true.
do it first. In any event, that is going to push another company to try and do it faster. That could have been something that was on a 10-year plan for WWE, but suddenly, oh, All In have gone and sold 80,000 seats. Right, okay, then we're going to go and beat you. And, I love both. WrestleMania has been on my bucket list. I would love nothing more than to go to WrestleMania. I love nothing more than to go to All In. I should hopefully be going again this year. It's having these massive shows as a UK wrestling fan is wonderful. And it's biased because
crazy.
we are British, but it's wonderful for our industry. And if it goes over the line, which it still might not, there's a possibility it might not. If it does go over the line, I think this will be huge for the UK.
Yeah, I mean, technically speaking, and I wrote about this in my dissertation. There is when World of Sport was really popular in the UK, which was the UK's biggest wrestling promotion, wrestling TV show, I should say, during the 1970s to 1980s. Technically speaking, there's never since been a higher proportion of a country to watch professional wrestling at any given time. It was almost the entire country who had access to TVs were watching it, right? They would have gone head to head. Like, if you put those viewership figures next to WCW and WWE during the Monday Night Wars, they'd go head to head. And the UK is a significantly smaller country. We're basically the size of one of your states. So it's why I've argued it ever since. I believe, and I will argue this point till I die, that the home of professional wrestling is the United Kingdom. And I think having a WrestleMania here is deserved, and I cannot wait to see it, David. But again, we're both biased because we're from the UK. But Shad, if it does happen, you need to fly over, and we need to have a party about it all.
Sure.
But talking about parties, I mean, Drew McIntyre's been having a bit of a social media party lately. He's been going diss after diss after diss to CM Punk. Well, the disses continue because Drew McIntyre, at some point recently, seemingly bumped into Jack Perry. They took a photo together. Yesterday, Drew McIntyre went to social medias and he posted this photo with the caption, "Yes, this is real. Cry us a river." And then a few hours later, he deleted it. Now, a lot of people are saying, why did he delete it? Was he told, hey, McIntyre, you have to delete it. We don't want any troubles with Punk by WWE. Or did Punk say to him, hey, delete this, please. Otherwise, we're going to have some issues, Drew. Or is Drew just working us all and he planned to take it down? Shard, what was your thoughts on it?
Here's the beauty of the internet. Once you post something, it lives there forever and ever and ever. Even if you kept it for 2 minutes, there's gonna be enough people that are gonna screenshot it and repost it on every single outlet that they can. So I don't think deleting it or keeping it up makes a difference because the post is there for all wrestling fans to see, and we all saw it. And let me start with the picture. Obviously, AW was in Nashville this past Wednesday. Drew McIntyre, known, person that lives in Nashville. Maybe he knew about them coming in town and he hit up Mr. Jack Perry. Said, "Hey, I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to push some buttons for this feud that I have in this SummerSlam match. You mind taking a little picture with me?" And he probably agreed to it because Jack probably still is holding a bit of a bad blood with Mr. CM Punk. But regardless of what it is, this is what is necessary for professional wrestling because how do you get fans invested in the storylines? You got to set the story, but you also got to sell more to it. And I always say it's not what you do on TV is majority of it, but if you can elevate yourself on the social media as much as people go on Twitter, Instagram, etc., that can only benefit you. And I think Drew McIntyre does probably the best job at any professional wrestler when it comes to social media presence because he creates memes. He doesn't, shy away from taking little jabs at Punk in regards to quotes that he says, not being shy to allude to everything will brawl out. And this is like the cherry on top. Like this is the kind of nail in the coffin when it comes to trolling because he literally took a picture with the guy that got him, figuratively fired from AEW, and I have no problem with it. I would have kept it up personally. I feel that, you know, it doesn't do anything in regards to like AEW getting a one up on WWE or whatever it may be like that. I hope that Punk is an adult enough where he knows that, okay, we're just pushing the envelope to tell a story and get people excited for the match. Just use it as fuel. I don't think anybody should be as sensitive in regards to that. It's just a picture. It's very funny. It's very entertaining, and I liked it. I thought it was one of the best troll like pictures that you can possibly think of, and I think it helps both wrestlers. I think one, Drew is making us more invested to this Punk match at SummerSlam, and two, Jack Perry is, I don't care what nobody says, he's doing some of the best like character work in his career at the moment, and this only elevates it. He comes in with that, little like smirky means like grin on his face, and he just follows in with this whole scapegoat thing. I loved everything about it. I am sad that he deleted it, but like I said, everything on the internet lives forever. I don't know why he deleted it. If it's WWE telling them to do that, come on, man, get a little bit tougher skin. And if it's Punk, you ain't got no CM Punk, you on your last leg, man, so you got no other reason to argue on stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, he truly cannot, right? This is, I mean, somebody tweeted yesterday, I can't remember who it was, saying, CM Punk, this is a test, and it's true. Are they trying to, catch CM Punk out or something like that? This is a true test for Punk. Can he handle this professionally? I think he can, and quite frankly, I mean, this match is a money match, isn't it? I'm hyped for it. SummerSlam, Punk, McIntyre, special guest referee Seth Rollins.
Cody, I hate to break it to you. You may be the third most important match on SummerSlam at the moment. I think Seth being added to it and Drew and Punk is captivating it, and especially with the Liv and I'm more excited for those two matches. I don't have that same excitement for the Cody and Solo matches I do as those two matches. It ain't close either, bro.
I so wish it was Cody Jacob Fatu. I'd be so much more interested. No disrespect to Solo. But
it sounds very disrespectful to Solo, but I'm only joking. I do have to be honest with you, agree. It's one of those things where Cody's reign, I feel like it's been a little rocky so far. Not bad, but
he's
just
had
not
fantastic
outstanding.
He's had fantastic matches on every show. It's just it's
storytelling.
The storytelling's not been there, and which is weird for Cody. I don't think it's Cody's fault. I think they just whenever he's had his stuff to do, he's been great. It's not clicking at the moment.
Yep, I agree.
He keeps asking me what I want to talk about and then not listening. That's what it is, David. That's what it is. But guys, let me please. I want to talk about something, right? You're asking me what do I want to talk about? I want to talk about our good friends over at Next Level. If you don't know them, let me tell you a little bit about them. Basically, they've taken all our social media links and they put it all in one place. And that one place is nxconnect.me/Wrestling Republic to see all our content across all platforms linked all in one place. Plus, they have an app. You get their app, you click on their app, there's an exclusive wrestling section within their app just for wrestling content creators, right? There's a thriving wrestling community on there. It's a great app. You guys have to check it out. It is brilliant. And most importantly, it is absolutely free. Once again, nxconnect.me/Wrestling Republic to see all our content across all platforms linked all in one place. But now let's get back into it, because talking about one place, let's talk about Japan for a little bit, shall we? Because on the daily, we've not had much time to talk about the New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Climax yet this year. In case you guys don't know what that is, it's New Japan Pro Wrestling's annual round-robin tournament. 10 wrestlers in 2 separate blocks. They then compete. They all face each other, and then at the end, the people, this year I think it's the 3 highest in both blocks, then face off going into the semi-finals and then final. And yeah, it's basically a lot of fun. It's the hardest tournament in wrestling to compete in because it's basically a month long of hard-hitting action. There's rarely any rest days. It is absolutely terrific. It is brilliant as a fan to watch. But the last couple of years, well, it's not really hit the level that it previously had. But David, this year, we're 4 days into it. Do you think it's hit that level again?
I don't think it's hit the insane levels of 2016 through that sort of 2016, 2017, 2018, when Japan was at its peak. What they did during the pandemic, or after the sort of pandemic thing with the G1, is they tried to mess around with the formats. They tried to make it 4 blocks. They tried to chop and change the number of people. They're back to basics now with 2 blocks of 10. I think it's been a very good tournament so far. I've seen every block match across all 4 days, and I am enjoying it thoroughly. I very quickly put together a quick 3 hot and 3 not from the tournament so far, although most people, I think, have hit well in this tournament so far, and I think there's been a lot of very good matches. So in terms of people who haven't fully delivered, Ren Narita has been fine. He's being held back a lot by House of Torture's silly gimmicks, but he's all right. It's just not hitting at the moment. And then you've got Jake Lee and Evil. I really like Jake Lee, but he's not really had a lot to do, and Evil is evil, unfortunately. If you don't know who Evil is, he ends every single match the same way and has done for about 6 years. The Tetsuya Naito, the world champion, had 2 pretty good matches and then fell apart against Jake Lee on the 3rd match. Was the worst match of the tournament significantly, and he is struggling now. He was in a tag on yesterday, and he is very much in trouble, I think, because he is very much struggling. As for people who are doing very well, El Phantasmo has the biggest story going through the G1 so far, of him trying to find friends, find form, find his passion again. Very much think Orange Cassidy, I think, is the best comparison at the moment for ELP. Although that did mean they then put him on commentary one day for the American commentary, which was one of the most painful experiences my ears have ever had. Because if you've heard Cassidy on commentary, try ELP, a depressed ELP whose character is he doesn't want to be there, and it was dire. But my 2 standouts actually fought each other in the best match of the G1 yesterday, and that is Konosuke Takeshita, AEW, and DDT's Konosuke Takeshita, and the biggest surprise and breakout star of this tournament, Yuya Uemura. I don't know exactly how you pronounce his name. I think it's Uemura or Uemura. He has been fantastic this tournament. He has broken out straight into that main event level, had a corking match against Takeshita. Takeshita, we all know, is brilliant. And it's not surprising that he's at the highest level every night. But Uemura has won all 3 of his block matches. He is looking great. He's beat David Finlay. He beat Takeshita. He's looking really good. And I think if they play their cards right, and I think he should be in the final. I don't think he'll win it, but I think he should be in the final. I think they've got a new main event top guy here that they are building that is surpassing a lot of their sort of the guys that they've really tried to push. Yamura's got the charisma. He's got the in-ring prowess. He's got things to work on, certainly bits with his selling, etc. But I think he's the biggest surprise in this tournament, and in my opinion, the MVP. And I really hope he keeps it up. I think it's been a good tournament so far. There's certainly room for improvement. I think Takeshita Uemura was the first real proper banger of the tournament. I think we've been waiting for that sort of real classic from the G1. I think that's the first one we've got. But lots more to come, lots more days, 2 shows over the weekend, which we'll get to in the preview. And yeah, some really, really good stuff. And I think they're doing a good job so far. Just watch out Tetsuya Naito, because he is starting to fall apart.
Well, David, Graduate Ben agrees with a lot of what you were saying there, especially about Uemura. I haven't seen his match against Takeshita yet, but I'm going to be watching it later today. But from what I have seen from the 3.5 days that I've watched, is House of Torture are torturing me, right? They're reminding me why I haven't watched as much New Japan over the past 18 months. House of Torture, they're just boring, right? There's heat in wrestling. Heat makes you hate someone, but makes you want to watch, so they get beaten up. Go Away Heat makes you want to turn off the TV. They have Go Away Heat. House of Torture are torturing me. Let's just get rid of the gimmick. It sucks. They've ruined Ren Narita, and Evil makes me go to sleep. I've had enough of it, but what I have not had enough of, David, is you are right. The G1 this year has been a lot of fun, and I cannot wait for it this weekend. And to your point, there's 2 G1 shows this weekend. It's going to be incredibly fun. But what else is happening this weekend? Well, let me get into it, because tonight, on Friday night SmackDown, Well, it's Friday Night SmackDown! Yes, boys! My boys! The Yes Boys! Pretty Deadly are back because they are going to be competing in a number one contender tag team gauntlet match where they'll be taking on the Street Profits, Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews, the Bloodline, Legado del Fantasma, and the OC. Of course, the number one contenders for that are going to have a tag team title shot. We're also going to have LA Knight versus Santos Escobar, and Bailey and Michin will team up to take on Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. But that is not all, because also tonight we have Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view. We have Commander versus Mortis, Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erichs versus the Dark Order, Wheeler Yuta versus Lee Moriarty for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. I'm hyped for that. The Undisputed Kingdom versus Kyle O'Reilly and Tomohiro Ishii for the World Tag Team Championships. Atlantis Jr. versus Leo Rush, Shane Taylor, Johnny TV, and Carl Fletcher for the Ring of Honor World TV Championship. Diamante versus Layla Hirsch in a Texas Death Match. Billy Starks versus Red Velvet for the Ring of Honor Women's World Television Championship. Athena versus Queen Anamita for the Ring of Honor World Women's Championship. And Mark Briscoe versus Roderick Strong for the Ring of Honor World Championship. There's a lot of championships in Ring of Honor. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it is a stacked card, that is for sure. And then on Sunday, we have Progress Wrestling, The Devil on My Shoulder. Here at Wrestling Republic, we're going to be doing a live watch along for that. 3 p.m. UK time. In America, that's 10 a.m. Eastern. And I believe that's 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. Pacific. Double check me on that one. But there's an absolute stacked card there, with the main event being Kid Lycos versus Luke Jacobs in a match which I am hyped for. If you guys want to watch it, you can watch it live on demand, Progress Plus. And if you want a huge discount for that, a 50% discount, right? So instead of paying the full £10 or whatever it is for a month, you can pay 50% of that for your first month by using code WATCHPROGRESS1. And that's spelled one as in the number, not as in the word. But, oh gosh, there's too much wrestling going on this weekend, Shad. I really can't get my head around it all, right? But how are you feeling heading into it? What are you most excited for before my voice just breaks?
I'm definitely, SmackDown. I don't think you named anything that has a lot of excitement. I think the tag team match should be good, but I really hope that leads to them building more of a tag team, thorough tag division. But tonight, I mean, you mentioned with Death Before Dishonor. I think it's going to be a very fun card, and I'm definitely excited for the two women's title matches more so, because I think they've done a good job with Athena and Billy Starks. And I think Queen Aminata is a person that has really strived and flourished under Ring of Honor since they kind of put her there. And since they signed her, I think she's a young up-and-coming superstar that can kind of build. Let's not forget, her and Mariah May was that opening match, and both of those women definitely cooked. So I'm excited for that, as well as I love Red Velvet. I think she's a person that unfortunately got lost in the mix after Jade left, but it's cool to see them, and I like her and Aminata's dynamic. But what I'm really excited for is, I believe Bloodsport is this weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
Yeah, so we got a lot of great matches.
Wow, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, we got Filthy Tom Lawler versus Brutus Creed is gonna be absolutely crazy. And then Miyu Yamashita versus Shayna Baszler, which is gonna be wild. And it's cool, man. WWE allowing, I think, both Creeds are on there. Shayna and Dempsey are on it too. So this prohibited portal that people keep saying is rivaling the Forbidden Door, they're opening it, and I'm excited for that. So yeah, a lot of good stuff. And I would definitely be up Sunday, watching y'all watch that as well while I make my, eggs and turkey bacon. So yeah.
Nice. No, it's certainly a fun one. I'm going to be honest with you. I completely forgot about the existence of Bloodsport. That's going to be huge. Shayna Baszler back there as well. And I believe Charlie Dempsey too. So it's going to be an absolutely fascinating one.
I forgot who he's wrestling.
Charlie Dempsey. I have the card here. Hang on. Charlie Dempsey. Royce Isaacs.
Okay.
Royce Isaacs. I was just checking to make sure I was right before I spoke.
He's underrated.
Yeah, that'd be a great
He
match.
was underrated in
You also have Mike Bailey.
Was.
Yeah, Mike Bailey and Akira also on that show, which should be excellent. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut to me too quickly. But so yes, to run down, I've made a little list of things happening this weekend that I'm excited for. Had a little look through cage match listings. I'm very excited for the Royal Rampage. I always am. Obviously, it's been pre-taped, but I'm very excited to see it. I've stayed away from spoilers, so I don't know who's won it. So I'm very, very excited to watch that. Nothing announced for Collision yet. Don't care about Battle for the Belts, especially. Same with SmackDown. Not too bothered there. We have Stardom have a show. Stardom Sapporo Wonder Rendezvous. Excited for that. House of Glory High Intensity, which has Swerve Strickland wrestling on it. The AEW World Champion is taking on Amazing Red, which should be excellent. We obviously have Progress Devil on My Shoulder with Kid Lycos and Luke Jacobs, which should be brilliant, and also stacked card. Also quite excited for a single match that Rev Pro are doing this weekend in Sheffield, which is Michael Oku versus Donovan Dijak. That should be excellent. We have 2 G1 Climax days with my most anticipated match of the weekend on there, which is Takeshita versus Aaron Hanare. That should be unbelievable. And we obviously have Bloodsport with Shayna Yamashita that I'm very, very excited for. I'll also bring up, exactly as we said, with Athena Amanata, and Red Velvet, Billy Starks. That whole contingent, I think, is great. I think those 2 things should be great. I'm very, very excited. I think it's a very, very good card. Very good series of cards across the weekend. And yeah, I think there'll be a lot of chances for a lot of people to steal the show this weekend. And I cannot wait. Cannot wait. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic.
Oh, wow. So to summarize, we have 2 New Japan shows. We have Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor. We have SmackDown. We have an AEW Rampage, which is actually stacked for once. I presume AEW Collision is on too. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, they haven't announced a single match yet, but I'm sure there'll be some fun ones on there.
And Battle of the Belts is on Saturday or Friday?
Yes, after Collision. On Battle of the Belts is after Collision.
Okay.
With
so
that
after
is
6.
Yeah, that's Perazzo.
7.
That's Perazzo
and
Willow and Tony Storm versus Taya Valkyrie.
Mm-hmm. 2 women's matches.
Yeah. Woohoo!
Oh my gosh. This is just.
Yeah, it's funny. The weekends where they typically the shows where they put on SummerSlam or All Out, All In are not actually the most stacked weeks for wrestling. If you want to, typically they are these weeks where seemingly little is on. But if you look behind the sort of the big 2, there's a lot going on this weekend, and I'm very excited for it all.
And that's the beautiful thing about it. I totally forgot that House of Glory show was this weekend too. That card looks pretty crazy. And then to Ben, obviously, I don't want to, obviously y'all got that watch along, but for real, for people watching, it's a really good card. And there's a lot of American wrestlers that Danhausen's on the card, right?
Yeah, he is.
I think. And then you got Bussy, Alley Catch, and Effier on it. I think Leon Slater's on it too, if I'm not mistaken. I forgot who he's wrestling.
He's wrestling Igor Blanc as well, and we also have Rio versus Lena Cross, which I'm hyped for.
If people don't know Aigle Blanc, French wrestler, is really good. Had a match in January, a cage match for WXW against Joseph Fenech Jr., which is my introduction to Aigle Blanc, and it was a brilliant match. And Aigle Blanc was, I believe, the first stop on Ali's tour, wasn't he? When Ali...
Yeah, you're right. He is really good. I've watched that match before. Oh, that's who Leon Slater is wrestling.
Yep.
Oh my God, that is gonna be that might be match of the night, in ring wise.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie to you. So good. Watch Progress 1 to get 50% off, guys.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, really just, like I said, across the world, there's also I think there's a tournament final in CMLL going on this weekend.
Oh, wow.
I can't remember what tournament it is.
That's the one with Death Triangle versus, is that this weekend?
I don't think that's this weekend, but it might be.
No, it is. It is this weekend. It is.
I know. That one as well. Add that to the list then.
Oh my gosh. So wait a second. Let's go through this. 2 New Japan shows, SmackDown, Ring of Honor, Progress, Rev Pro event, CMLL. What am I missing?
Glory, Stardom, Bloodsport.
Stardom,
SmackDown.
Bloodsport.
And
oh my gosh, we're up to 10 events, guys.
Battle of the Belts.
Battle of the Belts. Yeah.
Oh, 11. Collision, 12.
Yeah.
Rampage, 13. There's 13 wrestling events this weekend, guys. My
think you
cat's
might-
currently
I
over there
think
crying
you might have
because they're
counted
so
them twice
stressed
there,
about
Ben.
all the
But it doesn't
wrestling.
matter.
NXT level up. Hey.
The best
We'll
show in
chuck
best
that in
show
there
wrestling.
too, shall we? Oh my gosh. Well, it's going to be a good weekend, guys, isn't it? I cannot wait for it. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. Thank you, David. Thank you, Shad. It's been a fun one. And I also forgot to change the graphic to weekend preview. But on that note, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.